What is she proposing?
Send your best troops to Scarif. Send the rebel fleet if you have to. You need to capture the Death Star plans if there's any hope of destroying it.
You're asking us to invade an Imperial installation based on nothing but hope.
Rebellions are built on hope.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
Thank you. This is episode 175, and tonight we're not doing the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It got pulled last week. The Chronicles. I said chronic, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's that new street drug. The Chronicles of Narnia. We are decided to, do Rogue One because, well, heck, we've only done one Star Wars movie, and frankly, it wasn't very good. So we're doing Rogue One.
We went rogue and
did this one. Haha. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew. The Force is with me, and I am one with the Force, Jemison.
Also, he gets the good line, jerk.
Well,
yep.
Yeah, I like Andrew.
No.
Oh, what the heck?
Yay, autoplay. Corny, Blue Milk Logan. It was the only food in the movie.
I realized that was either that or some type of bug dish. Sorry, I've been watching. I watched Sweeney Todd this morning, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, sure.
Hey, folks, if you really need to pick me up in the morning, I suggest you wake up at 4 a.m. and watch Sweeney Todd.
Sure.
Every day. It's pretty awesome.
Better than a cup of coffee.
How can you even understand the English that early in the morning?
Yeah, no kidding.
You see, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh, sure. I could barely understand my son when he came downstairs at 4 o'clock this morning. Yeah, no. And Sam would say dad jokes while force choking someone to death vector.
Well, absolutely. And Sean, just so you know, that if I should ever need to get through a door with a lightsaber, I will stab through you into the door.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's fair. That's actually probably one of the quickest deaths you've ever offered me. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So let's pull up a comfy chair.
That's right. Our evil lord, Darth Vector.
Darth Vector. That's right.
Darth Vector. Yep.
So
he was going to be my son if I ever had a boy.
Darth.
Darth.
Party on, Garth.
He's going to have asthma.
Garth Vector would have been pretty close.
Yeah.
He's going to have asthma. I'm just going to shove this ragweed down your throat until you have asthma.
Yeah. Oh, breathe hard, son. Breathe hard.
Right.
Dad, why are you doing this? It's going to be the greatest joke of all time.
That's right. The payoff is going to be great. Anyway, so yeah, this is Rogue One. It's streaming on Netflix, which is just fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm really, really loving the fact that Disney is getting some good stuff on there. So, super excited to talk about this particular film. We all watched it, and I don't know about the four of us, but I do know of a lot of people that really didn't like this movie.
True, very true. I know a lot of people are like, "Why didn't this didn't make any sense? It didn't go along with the story." I'm like,
right,
it wasn't supposed to. It clearly wasn't supposed to.
Well, and a lot of
quite understand the actual point of the movie.
Yeah, a lot of people were confused. Like, wait a minute, I thought they were Bothans that died, and then some people were like, "Well, it doesn't make any sense. Where's Rey and Finn?" And then a lot of other. I mean, I had people that were my student employees that didn't like the movie because they thought it was how they were going to destroy the Death Star after the Empire Strikes Back. Like I thought this was the one with the Bothans. I'm like, no, this is how they get it before the first movie. That's why the Death Star is whole and not all half broken and things. And but then there are other people that didn't like it because they said, quote, it was too much like Star Wars. They wanted to see something different. And it's like, okay. So,
well, they want a comedy?
Well, I mean, and it's funny because those are the same people that got mad at The Force Awakens because it was too much like like New Hope, A New Hope.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, hang in there, guys. So anyway, but we don't care about those people. At least I don't. So what matters is what the four of us think for this podcast and what you at home listening, what you guys think about this movie. So Andrew, if you will just enlighten us, what is Rogue One?
The Rebel Alliance makes a risky move to steal the plans for the Death Star.
Wait. Did you say Ruski?
It did sound like you said Ruski.
It really sounded like you said Ruski.
They made a Ruski.
A Ruski doesn't take a dump without a plan, son.
No. So they made a risky move. The Rebels, or the Alliance, or whatever they call themselves, makes a risky move to steal the plans for the Death Star, setting up the epic saga we all know and love.
Does it actually say that?
No.
Oh, okay. I should actually be on IMDb. That'd probably make my job easier.
The original saga that we all
know. So just in case you're listening to this and you've never, you haven't seen it, you should watch it and then come back. But if you're confused about it, this is the movie that is quite literally just days before the events of A New Hope.
Hours,
I would say minutes even.
Well,
possibly.
the end of the movie does. But obviously, the beginning of the movie is at least a day or two before the events of A New Hope. But yeah, I mean, by the end of the movie, we're talking with minutes. I mean, that Corvette escapes, and CGI Leia says the word hope, and then the next scene would be Vader chasing her down.
Essentially, this is episode 4, part 1.
Yeah. Or
yeah, I guess. I mean,
or the addendum, or whatever the prequel. I don't want to call it prequel.
The prologue.
Prologue. Thank you. Prologue.
I actually did read in the trivia. I don't know. There was a lot of trivia about this movie. Holy crap! But one of the trivias was that. Okay, good. It's not one I captured. Is that basically everything that is in the scroll crawl at the beginning of A New Hope is this movie. Like they basically just visually showed you what the word said on the screen.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. So I'm excited to talk about this. So let's talk about it. Andrew, I guess all four of us saw this in the theater, right? Back in December?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it twice.
I took my kids to see this, which was a mistake. Because my kids are fans of Star Wars, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that. And the movie is not inappropriate necessarily for them, but I say it's a mistake because I am a Star Wars fan, and the theater happened to have electronic reclining chairs, and so rather than watching the movie and some of the more boring scenes for a child, we heard
the chairs
distracting me, and so I had to go back and watch it a second time.
Oh,
just to without distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, do you have any kind of you want to do like your initial thoughts on the movie, or was that it?
Oh yeah. No, I can. After watching it the second time. The first time I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. My kids were blown away when the just cluster of TIE fighters were on the screen, and they were like, "Oh my god, look at how many there are!" And so they liked that. But it was exciting experience to go see it. But the movie itself was really good. I enjoyed it. I didn't find much wrong with it. There were a few little things here and there that I thought, well, that's kind of contradictory, but okay, I'll go with you. Or there's some things that I thought, well, if we didn't already know, it's kind of like your Doc Brown time travel issue. There's a few things in there that kind of bothered me like that. And maybe it was just because I knew what was going to happen later, and I don't know.
All right.
But, beautiful acting, the scenery and the cinematography I thought was really great. And I watched some background stuff on especially the opening scenes were filmed, and it's really neat how they CGI'd half of a landmass basically out of the picture and replaced it with dirt,
right?
Because it was too beautiful. So I thought it was done really well, and enjoyed the hell out of it.
All right, cool. Corny.
Yes. So the blue milk I thought was pretty consistent. Didn't look chunky. A little bit more concerned that there was.
There's nothing worse than chunky milk.
I know, right? And then there was no cows around. No space cows.
Chunky milk is worse.
And so
that's what they called me in high school.
Maybe
good job of the engineer to somehow manage to keep that milk nice and smooth.
Okay. Anything else about the movie? Just the milk? That's all?
Just the milk. Personally, you should have gotten rid of the other cup. He might have been able to keep the surprise that his wife was alive. Also, his wife should have came in.
No kidding.
Yeah. She is dead. I am so sad. I am going to cry. Well, she's over there. She's over there. Oh, I wasn't aware. I was completely surprised.
Well, so I want to touch on that for just a second. As per usual, I watched this with my wife. And she and I watched it in the theater.
Nerd.
And that's fine. And so as we're watching it, she actually kind of looked at me and she said, "This is the only part of the movie that pisses me off." And I kind of gave her a look and she said, "I'm a mother, okay? And I'm going to be real honest. If bad guys come for you, I'm going to go protect my kid. Just going to be real honest." She said, "You can take care of yourself. I'm hiding with my kid. She is a horrible mother for leaving her kid by herself." I'm like, all right, it's a good way to look at it. I mean, I didn't think of it like that. So,
well, it's funny you say that because I actually envisioned my mom in that situation, and
well, she would have punched the laser blast back to the guy.
She'd be like, "I know y'all didn't just come up on my hell no,
yeah.
Mama no."
Yeah. I think that's a different scene. You know, like when K2SO picks up the trooper and then like knocks him into the other guy and then knocks him into the other guy and then throws him into the fourth guy. That would have been your mom.
That would have been my mom. Yeah, you're right.
Let's just be honest. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I can say this. I've met his mother. So.
So you know how you met his mother?
Yeah, I know how. Yeah, that show was really short.
Hello, Mom. This is Sean. Sean is his mom.
Yeah, I drove to his house and she cooked me dinner.
He's gonna eat a third of our food. We should stop him.
Hey, now, hang in there.
Very good.
That wasn't all me. Anyway, that part annoyed me and Sarah. So thank you for bringing it up, Corny.
Oh, you're welcome. Go blue milk.
Sam.
I just got done watching this thing a few minutes ago. And I had seen it at least once on in the theater and then another time right when it first popped up on Netflix. So I really was looking for kind of a critique for it this time. And there are a few slow moments, but it's all because they have to jam-pack a heck of a lot of stuff into this movie just to get you to care about the characters, because we all know what happens to the characters, right?
They have a story.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So to have that impact, you're going to have to have
impact.
You're going to have to get to know them pretty well, and they did a pretty serviceable job. I don't think I was really emotional about any of them except for
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, and that one kind of tugged a little bit at my allergies, a little bit, but and maybe even the robot. But let's just say this: the robot saved this movie.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah. Oh hell yeah, he did.
Alan Tudyk as K2SO is single-handedly my favorite thing of the entire movie.
Yes,
And you will be
Brilliant.
able to tell because half of my clips are from him.
Well, speaking on the robot, I think it was fantastic that, as you know, the whole idea of this movie is it's not another. No, it's not. There are no Jedi. There are no lightsaber battle. Well, other than Vader, but this is not that kind of story. It's even to the point of the main featured droid in this one is sadistic.
It's this super sassy, sarcastic mother of a droid who basically can use in English what we all assume R2-D2 is actually saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because half the time C-3PO just says stuff like, "You watch your language." Like I'm sure that's probably what he's saying. He just doesn't have arms in English, So
I'm going to need you to turn down your honesty meter a little bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, there's a good callback to a good moment of that movie.
Yeah. But anyway, the cinematography is absolutely amazing, and if there's one thing that Gareth Edwards is really good at, it's that. A lot of his other movies kind of focus on scale, and I think he brought this to this movie very, very well. Especially when you start seeing the Death Star and even the Star Destroyers at the end crashing into each other and then crashing into the shield and all that sort of stuff was pretty impressive. I did notice a few things that bugged me this time around in the movie, and they're minor things. It had to do with when the Death Star shot a Scarif, and it shot it at an angle, but yet it exploded straight up like it was an atomic bomb was dropped down there. But that's more physics. It's kind of like was it Mission Impossible 3 that I hate?
Yeah, where the rocket's behind him, but he goes to the right.
And he gets blown into a car sideways. Yeah, it just doesn't work that way. But
I actually never thought about that. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it wouldn't do that. It would blow out.
Yeah,
like it would skip almost.
The CGI, especially the third time around, bothered me a lot. Especially General, what's his name?
Tarkin. Governor Tarkin. Yeah.
I think it's maybe you've read the trivia, but did they use motion cap with him?
Well, sort of. So there's an actual actor doing the body who is this tall, lanky man who is saying the lines. So that is a mocap on that actor. Yeah. And then they're taking the skin from the A New Hope and putting it on that man's face. So it is sort of, I guess it is mocap, yeah.
Somehow there needs to be a better program that takes contours of the face and facial expressions and can change them for the CGI face.
Well, I think...
but it's just, it's very waxy and very static. And I had a problem with that, but I have to say the last freaking 3 minutes of this film with Darth Vader totally make up for all of that. And we finally get a scene where Vader is just a complete badass.
Yeah. We've been kind of waiting for that for a while. And
and I saw for the first time tonight, he actually, he doesn't look, but he throws the guy into the roof or into the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I noticed this time around that he kind of takes his lightsaber and cuts him in half as he's like passing underneath him, and it just kind of like, oh, you're still there,
right?
You're dead. But the fear in that room they did a great job.
It was palpable, yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie. I don't know how I would rank it against whatchamacallit, the new one,
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. I'd have to see Force Awakens again, but I enjoyed the movie for what it is and the story that it told. So there you go.
Right on.
What about you, Sean?
Well, thanks, Horny, for the toss.
I don't know.
He stole it from Sam.
I ain't tossing shit.
Sam was Mark Sanchez. He was going to throw it to me, and then Corny intercepted him.
I thought it was a sandwich. Hell yeah.
As long as it's not a salad, we're all right.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know, I was thinking I couldn't pull that joke out, but
yeah, Andrew did. No, I really like this movie a lot. I enjoyed it a lot when I saw it in the movie theater. I've seen it. I own it, of course, on Blu-ray, as I do. I know. I've probably seen this movie. This was probably my 5th time watching it since it came out last December. So I really liked it. The things that bothered me, I'm interested really in to see what Andrew has to say about some kind of time issues, because I never noticed anything like that. The things that bothered me was like what I mentioned about the mom, some of the decision making things.
Yeah.
Like
for the purpose of moving the plot along, that some of it was not real.
Yeah.
Bound. It was not bound in reality, or we're talking about Star Wars, right? But it wasn't in rational decision making. Was not.
Yeah. Sometimes there was some weirdness of that, because it's Star Wars, you forgive things like there's very obscure data storage facility where you have to use like arm driving things, like
it's not a filing cabinet.
Imagine
like
Corny
the worst
having
architecture ever.
But that's all Star Wars architecture is the worst architecture ever. Like it's always these big.
But it was such a long time ago when they did it.
I know, it's always these huge rooms with no railings. I mean, even Darth Vader's conference room was just this death room with no table to sit at. I mean, what's the purpose of that room other than to possibly fall into lava? That is just weird. So, but anyway, that's Star Wars. It's just the way it's always been. So I appreciate them keeping the look and feel of that for this movie. Tarkin doesn't bother me as much, and I think, Sam, this. I think that the motion capture that we are doing with people has come so far, and it's so good to be able to do what we've done with it, because there are other moments in cinematic history where they've had to superimpose a head on a body because, like, for example, Gladiator, the guy that was the slave owner who freed himself, who was Maximus's owner.
Yeah,
he died during production. So there's like 2 scenes that it's just somebody else's body with his head imposed, but he doesn't have any lines. He's just in the background.
And they have to do that with Fast and Furious guy on a few scenes too?
I think so. And not Mark. Crap, I forgot his name. But yeah, Paul Walker. And and they did it. They had to do it with Brandon Lee in The Crow. They had to. He died while filming, and he had a couple scenes left, and so they superimposed his still face on another person, and it worked. Whereas in this case, this person's delivering lines up close in high def. So I thought it looked really good, and even on my high def TV at home through Blu-ray, it doesn't bother me. I can tell he's fake. I know it's not real, but it doesn't bother me. Leia bothers me.
Really?
Leia... She looks
not as much as me, or not as much as the other guy.
She looks
for me.
I find that some people Leia bothers them more, and some people Tarkin does. And I'm with you, Sean. Leia, when I was watching this in the theater, I honestly didn't even notice Tarkin until a little bit later in the movie, and because I started thinking, oh wait, this actor's dead. Yeah. So this, and then when it got to the scene with Leia at the end, I thought, "Oh my God, that looks like a video game."
Yeah,
I mean, it really bothered me.
Yeah, it looked.
I will say, I wish she didn't speak. I think that ruined it in terms of.
I would have, and I've mentioned this before, and I've mentioned it to several other people who love Star Wars and love this movie, and most of them have agreed with me that seeing her CGI. I mean, for whatever reason, this is going to sound weird, but her teeth look like nuclear white. And like she looked like she was glowing, like she was had just come from Super Saiyan and she was still kind of glowy.
And she had that white gown on or whatever she had on too.
I would have been super fine if it would have been I keep hitting the microphone. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. I would have been better if it would have. The guy comes into the room and hands her the thing, the disc, and it's her back, right? And then instead of her turning around to face the camera to deliver her one line, if she turns, the camera stays behind her, and then looks out the front window. And so when the guy comes to her and says, "What is it?" we just hear Leia say the word hope, right? Because all they did was just take the line from when "You're our only hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help, you're our only hope." It's just they just took that word from that line. But I would have much rather it had been that, because you know who she is, and I don't know. I guess they were going for a wow factor, and the wow was the wrong side for me. Because in the theater, I was like, "Eee! Oh, that's not like it took me out of the movie." Which, I mean, the movie's over at that point, but that part
actually, I won't say it ruined the movie, but it really did bother me.
Yeah, it didn't.
Well, especially after such a very cool scene.
Oh my gosh!
So am I the only one who didn't really have a problem with that?
No, I'm with you there, Corny, too. I don't think it was unfortunate, but I didn't, jump out of my seat with a big yay at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
I can get the idea that if we do that, we probably have it's a better Easter egg of sorts. If we don't have her turn around.
Yeah.
I
mean,
could it also be the fact that during the time there was all that big issue about Carrie Fisher and how she looks and all other stuff prior to and of course she unfortunately passes away and got her soul and whatnot. But do you think that might have maybe played an influence into why so many people had an issue with showing the young version of Carrie Fisher, like not thinking about it, but why couldn't you have done something with her in makeup? I'm like that.
Well, I don't have a problem with them doing what they did, because there's no way you can make what she looked like when they filmed this to look like what she was then. I mean, it's 40-something years worth of age. You can only make up so much. I didn't see in the trivia, but I thought I remember hearing that the person that was the actual stand-in was her daughter, I think, but I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, don't yell at me or whatever on Twitter.
If he's wrong, send him an email. He's dying. Yeah. He needs an email.
I think that I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. I don't know. I mean, maybe Corny. I mean, maybe you're right. I don't know, but I just think that that Gareth Edwards was like, "Hey, we got this technology. Let's do what we can. We did it with Tarkin. It looked really good. Let's see if we do it with her." And again, it doesn't ruin the movie. I don't want people to think that the whole movie was an A+ and then this part made it an F. Like, no, this was 5 seconds of camera time where I went, I'm a little uncomfortable watching this PlayStation 4 Carrie Fisher kind of thing happening. So anyway.
Although this movie did do something that I've never seen a movie do before.
What's that?
And I caught it this third time around. Is they fixed Forrest Whitaker's eye.
Okay.
In the pre-shots before he's all half machine, he does not have his lazy eye.
Well, he also doesn't have his crazy hair. They went back and CGI'd his crazy hair.
Damn, we just CGI the shit everything, don't we?
Well, I guess they wanted to distinguish him between the shot when he's with Jen on wherever she is.
Well, wasn't he supposed to have a lot bigger part? That's part of the stuff they totally cut out. Well,
some of it got cut out and reshot. But a lot of his story supposedly is in the Star Wars Rebels show. Which I've only seen up to season 2. I have season 3 DVR'd. I need to watch it. I liked it. And they made references to Rebels in this movie, which is cool. There's a couple of moments where over the loudspeaker you hear General blah, 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 come to the whatever, and those are characters. Yeah, those are characters from Rebels. And supposedly, in the trivia, I couldn't find it, but there's a shot of the Ghost, which is the ship that they use in the Rebels show.
Yeah. It's in there twice, actually.
On Yavin. I couldn't find it.
There's also a shot of Chopper, the little droid.
Really? Now I got to find it.
He just kind of rolls across the screen.
Nice. So anyway, got to get back to my script here. Hang in there. So
Oh yeah, you haven't. I don't think you finished your.
Well,
thoughts.
I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, look, there's Chopper. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm looking at the images right now. Oh look, yep, the ghost is in the battle. That's super cool. I'm super excited for that. All right. Anyway, thanks, Andrew. So I want to say this about the movie, which I think is wonderful, truly wonderful about the movie. First of all, they did something I think which is daring, which we alluded to earlier about the fact that the main characters in this movie, they all die.
Yeah.
And I remember people getting pissed, and I had conversations with them. They're like, "Why do they have to kill these characters?" I'm like, "Because they're not in the next movie." So you have to either kill them or find some reason why they're not in the next movie. Because
He ain't gonna be in Star Wars 4.
Right.
Damn, you took my line.
So
Oh, sorry.
So like you have to find a reason, and frankly, this was the best reason. And in fact, one of the original version actually had Vader going down to the planet, and just after Jin beams the plans to the ship, Vader cuts her down, and then they's like, maybe that's too dark. So they kind of give the scene with him on the beach and the nuke and whatever. So,
and the nuke, yeah, all right.
so I actually applaud the Gareth Edwards for basically having the balls to kill these characters. Mm-hmm. And Sam, I'm 100% with you. Like, okay, the pilot died. Bodhi didn't really care. No. Sorry, just didn't care. Honestly, didn't really care much about Cassian.
I think that they purposely kind of distance the audience from a lot of these characters. I mean, you don't fall in love with these characters like you do in other films.
Right. Well, I freaking fell in love with Donnie Yen and his buddy. I want a movie of them.
Oh yeah.
I want a movie.
I want a prequel. I want to see. I want them. Yeah.
I freaking love their characters. I love Donnie Yen. He was amazing. And he goes to that thing, Corny, that you've mentioned a while ago when we were talking about Daredevil, where it's like, because of these shows and movies, we have a false sense of what it's like to actually be blind.
Yeah, see, this didn't help.
Yeah, because the movies
I've been really trying not to think that, and I can't. I can't.
Right, because then because I work on a campus, like a university, like Sam and Corny do, and we have blind people on our campus. Mm-hmm. And I kind of expect them at any point that if they walk into traffic to be able to flip over a car, which I know is
that's not fair to me.
It's not.
I have to keep up with all this pressure to not think that.
But I mean, like Donnie Yen's character, he was literally dodging laser blasts. It was so cool, and his relationship with his buddy was just great.
Daredevil of the Star Wars universe.
Well, yeah, and then I don't know if his buddy would be the Punisher, but maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Sure. Why did he have to keep cocking his gun?
But he only did it at the end.
Yeah.
Like every other part of the movie, he's full auto, but at the end when he's doing his, maybe it's more impactful to make it turn into a shotgun.
Yeah, I don't know. But it wasn't like it was a spread,
Yeah.
It was still a single blast.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
still kind of looked like
But it's funny, though, that the characters that we cared about made us laugh.
Well,
because Donnie Yen's is probably the best line in the movie. Was it, "Are you kidding me? I'm blind."
I'm blind, yeah. Well, it wasn't even that. It's because I think, personally, is that his character, he made us laugh, but he also made us think. When Cassian goes off to kill her dad, he says, does he have the face of a killer? He knows things about people without being able to see them. And he knew that Cassian was off to go do something. The Force is off. And,
sensitive.
Yeah, the dark side of the Force is around people who are about to kill. And so he's engaging our brains into this universe. And I think there's something to that. And frankly, his depth of character is better than friggin' Jin. I mean... Yeah, as soon as you see her, she's this rebellious thing, and then all of a sudden she's going to be all for the cause. Great. I mean, you knew that was coming, so I mean that character development.
But at the same time, I still, the third time around too, I finally I don't know if, when she made the big speech in front of everybody, how we've got to go after him, we've got to do this. It seemed a little forced this time around.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. It was like you don't have this ability, and all of a sudden, whenever danger's near, you gain Jen gained the power of powerful speech.
Right, of inspirational speeches, which she gives like 3 more times in the movie.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm with you, Sam.
Thanks. I'm muted. The clock is chiming.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks. Well, the one that annoyed me.
Stop when the bell tolls. It tolls for Sweeney Todd.
The one that actually annoyed me, honestly, was Cassian's flip. So the whole movie, Cassian is this ruthless killer, which I appreciated. I really liked that they showed the kind of the
first.
Yeah, and frankly, the dark side of the rebellion. The rebellion isn't just knights in shining armor who are all good people. He shot an informant in the back because he knew that he could be tortured by the Empire and give up information. I mean, that's cold. That's 007 stuff, right? So then he has his orders to kill her dad, and in the last second changes his mind when I think he realizes that he may in fact have actually acted in the good of the rebels.
But how would he have known? He's across the.
He watched
that thing is a scope, not an audio scope.
Well, you're right, but I think what he watched Galen jump in front of those other guys to save them, and then they got shot anyway. And then I think the director slapped him, so he doesn't shoot. So he makes an assumption, okay, maybe she's telling the truth. But then they leave, and she accuses him. He's still defensive and whatever. And then all of a sudden, after the speech that she gives, he's ready to die for her. And it's like, wait a minute. Like, that flip was quick to me.
Martha.
What? Oh, Martha.
What do you think that
name? So anyway, I don't know. It wasn't that annoying, but it this time again, the third or fourth time I watched it, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Damn.
But it's always interesting because at least I know I came out of this movie, jumping for joy how amazing it was. It had the feel again. Of a real lived-in Star Wars world. Yeah. And, when you start picking it apart, it does start kind of cracking at the seams a bit in terms of quality of storytelling.
Yeah, just a bit. The one thing that...
I'm not saying this thing isn't falling apart.
No.
But there's some faults to it.
What was I going to say? I can't remember. You said something that sparked an idea, and I've lost it. Damn it. Oh, well.
Did your idea go rogue?
Yeah, it did, and just flew off. I mean, so I mentioned this the first time I saw it in the theater, and I don't know if it was Sam, I was talking to you, or Corny, or on this show, or whatever. Are we sure we didn't do this episode already? I can't remember.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I think we spent like 15 or 10 minutes or something at the end of an episode one time, but we didn't do a full episode.
We didn't do a full episode. So, okay. So that was our prequel to our full episode of this. Damn it. I did it again. The one thing that kind of annoyed me was I felt it was a little too much hand waving at Star Wars. Hey, here's the blue milk. See,
that's right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Or hey, look, it's those guys from the bar that Obi-Wan's going to cut their arm off in a few days. Or
they're part of one of my issues actually.
Yeah.
Or the Balchini and the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Walrus Man and I don't like you either. That guy.
Yeah. And then you got the 2 stormtroopers that are walking down and going, "Oh, did you hear about the T-17s? Oh yeah, they're finally blah 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 blah." Like that's what the speeder that Luke drives. It's just like
what is it? C-3PO and R2-D2 they're just there randomly, hanging out.
And I
shooting the breeze.
And I know
smoking
that
a
pack. Smoking a bong.
Bong in a blitz. Yeah, smoking a pancake.
Smoking a pancake. Crepe in a bong. I understand that they need to be in the movie because you have to have them in the movie because they're in every movie. I get that. But it didn't make sense for the moment that they showed them. It would have made more sense if maybe they were on that ship, the Tantive 4 or something. Like, why are they at the hangar? That didn't make sense to me.
Essentially, they pulled a Joe Pesci. That's what we're going to call it.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, that means, you've got this movie that has, all kinds of callbacks to something else. And you go, oh, shit, we got to throw this other callback in. Joe Pesci. And you just throw it in.
Okay. You just wanted the excuse to say Joe Pesci. That's fine.
I did, actually, and it worked out well because it was a description, not just a random Joe Pesci.
Okay.
So I didn't even Joe Pesci the Joe Pesci.
Oh. Just turned it into a verb. I love it.
That's right.
We should reach out to him and be like, I want you to know that your name is now a verb, an adjective, and a noun. So anyway, yes. There was that. What was the other one that annoyed me? Something else that annoyed me. It was, again, one of those kind of hand-waving moments, and I can't think of what it was. Oh, it was, so this one was kind of cool, right? So we had Red Squadron, Yellow Squadron. No, yeah, that was cool too. And Blue Squadron. And Blue Squadron was supposed to be in the first movie, A New Hope. But blue doesn't show up on a blue screen when you're doing computer work. Well, not computer work, but when you're doing blue screen work. That's what they did back then. They didn't use green screen. They used blue screen. So they couldn't have a Blue Squadron. So that's why Blue Squadron made it into the shield and died. Because that's...
Oh, cool.
Right. So then you had to have... And I thought it was cool that they used scenes from A New Hope with Wedge and the rogue red leader. They just use these little section. Red one standing by. Red one standing by, and then there's someone like, he's on my tail, and then there's Wedge saying, I got him, and then he comes and saves the day, like that he would do in a few more days. Which again I thought was okay, but then of course we have to kill Red 5 because, well, Luke needs to be Red 5, so in order for that to happen, this guy's got to die. So again, there was a couple of moments of that that were just like, okay, fine, but I will say this, which is the thought I lost is now back. Thank you, Sam. Is what this movie does, and I had not thought about it until this showing, is, and I talked about it with you guys and other people, that this movie gives weight to A New Hope in a way we had never thought of.
Yeah.
Like, we now get to see the sacrifice that the men and women made to get the plans to Princess Leia so they could get on to whatever.
So the comment about a lot of what's the exact line? Well,
that's the third movie. That's the sixth movie. A lot of Bothans died to get us this information. Different movie. That's a different story.
Damn.
We don't know. That line's never made. It's always that guy with the beard says, Princess Leia brought us these plans and this R2 unit, and here's the thing, and this awful vector graphic thing we have, which was pretty good for 1977.
Another timeline issue that I have.
Well,
right there.
Okay, so hang in there. Just pin that for a second.
Yeah.
But the other thing that this movie does that adds weight to that I never thought of until this viewing was, now we know why when the Death Star attacks Yavin 4 in A New Hope, why the Rebel fleet is so small. Because I mean, think about it. There's like 30 ships that attack the thing, and it's because the fleet's kind of gotten wrecked. I mean, when Darth Vader comes in, a couple of their capital ships get wrecked. That Admiral, he's one of the Mon Calamari people. Like, his ship is destroyed, and a lot of the support ships are gone, and you lost a whole Blue Squadron. So that's why when they do the attack on the Death Star, it's such a small fleet because they haven't had a chance to replenish from the battle a few days ago. And that's kind of why Luke shows up, who, for all we know, is just some kid who can bullseye womp rats in his T-16 back home. They make him a fighter pilot. He essentially said, I fly, I'm pilot.
I was going to say, he Randy Quaided himself.
He did.
Nice.
He literally,
I can fly.
Right, he literally, Luke said that, and they're like, okay, what's your experience? I can bullseye womp rats in my T-16. You're a Red 5. So it kind of makes sense now. So I actually really appreciate the movie more this time once that kind of spark happened. So Anyway, hopefully someone else listening went, oh my gosh, yeah, that's such a cool thing. So there you go. Yeah. Andrew, what was the thing you mentioned? So you said you had a couple timeline issues.
Well, yes and no. I mean, there are some, and a lot of people won't really. I don't know. A lot of people could dispute this, I guess. But okay, there are several different types of troopers that we see in this movie that don't appear in 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, we even see them on the Death Star, but they're not in 4, 5, 6. Now, some of them are, but like the
I have answers for you for that. Just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, the Death Troopers and other things. But anyway, so that's thing number one.
Well, hang in there. So I'll answer that. Death Troopers,
okay.
They're not in anymore. Why? Because they were all in Scarif. Scarif is gone. Scarif got nuked. Because the Death Troopers were Director Krennic's personal bodyguard troops, battalion, whatever. And when Scarif got nuked, they all died. So that's why we don't see them. The brown stormtroopers that you see are essentially the Marines of the stormtrooper world.
Scout trooper.
Well, not just scout trooper. They're like the Marines. So Gareth actually did in an interview because someone asked him that question. Like, we've never seen brown troopers before, and he says, "Well, our army, the American Army, has different branches that do different things. These guys were literally Marine troopers to fight on beaches." Which is why they're sandy brown, and that's why the ones in Return of the Jedi they're scout troopers because they're in the woods and they need to be scouty. Frankly, they should have been camoed, but whatever. So that's kind of why there's some differences in the stormtroopers is that we're different. The one thing I thought was cool and had never thought of is that AT-AT walkers are troop carriers.
Yeah.
And they show that in this movie, and it makes more sense than them just being big walking guns. Which is essentially what they are in Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. Continue, Andrew, please.
Okay. All right, so that was one thing. Okay. The other thing, going back to the two cameos of Dr. Cornelius Evazan or whatever. Yeah. And what's his face? Waller's face.
Oh, yeah,
Akbar?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Those guys are on
Dr. Zoidberg.
Jeddah.
Yeah, somebody like me.
You're right. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, they're on Jeddah. Yeah,
they're on Jeddah, and then the very next day, or shortly after,
a couple of days later, they're on Tatooine.
They're in Mos Eisley. Now, I mean, maybe they were walking on their way to their ship to get off the planet, but that's a long shot.
No,
I mean, and another thing is, what are two people like that would be hanging out in a bar full of lowlifes on Mos Eisley doing in the holy city of Jeddah? You know, like that just doesn't seem like the place for them.
Well, the other thing that you're very right on is the fact that in New Hope he says, "We're wanted men. I got the death sentence and 12 systems." Then why are you hanging out in an Imperial stronghold?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you would never be there. So, no, you're right.
Okay, so that's the second thing.
It was a throwaway Easter egg that actually annoyed me.
Yeah. Third thing was the age of Senator Organa, Princess Leia's father. Or father.
Yeah.
If you look at Obi-Wan in Star Wars 3, you look at what's his face?
Alec Guinness. Sir Alec Guinness. Alec.
Yes.
Guinness, yeah.
No. In the third one.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ewan McGregor. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at McGinnis in the fourth one, that age it's a huge gap. And then you look at Organa, and he looks like he's aged, 5 years.
Well, it would have been 12 years since the Revenge of the Sith. So the timeline is a little off by, a few years, like 5 years. So Jimmy Smith's character, that didn't bother me because I think he would actually be pretty close to that. I have actually never thought about the fact that you're right, that Ewan McGregor in the third movie looks like he's 38, and then Alec Guinness is 70.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a 40-year.
He did some hard time somewhere.
Well, I mean, he was on Tatooine, man. Those were some
That
city
man
miles.
has seen some stuff.
Yeah, so you're not wrong.
Yeah. So there's that. That's the third thing. Now, the last thing that I've found
that actually boils down to George Lucas screwed the pooch with Ewan McGregor. They should have made him older when we were first introduced to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So.
I
still like the casting.
Okay, so the last thing that bothers me is what is actually said in A New Hope when they are talking about the Death Star, and they say something to the fact that it's never fired before, or we've never seen it, in action, so to speak, when clearly it's done it twice already. So. Maybe they're alluding to the fact that it's never blown up an entire planet before.
Yeah,
and
that's what I would think.
Yeah,
or maybe that's what I took it as. The full power has not been unleashed.
Yeah,
because I think he uses the phrase "this fully operational battle station" or something like that. I don't know. Have you guys seen the? I mean, it's a fan theory strictly, but in that boardroom scene when all those guys are there, and then Vader comes in and force chokes one of them. Next to Governor Tarkin, there's an empty seat. Why would there be an empty seat? And that's supposedly where Director Krennic would have sat.
Oh, wow.
And so the idea is that George Lucas thought of that back in 1977 and intentionally left a seat vacant.
I call
bullshit, too. Oh, wait. Yeah. I have a clip for that. And it's probably more like the actor who was supposed to sit there got sick and couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I've always said this, and again, I'll say I am a Star Wars fan, and with the exception of the first three, not the original four. I mean, 4, 5, 6, but I don't like the first three. I feel like, and even in those, even though they were made just pretty recently compared to the others. I feel like that George Lucas, as he is in his creative process, just kind of throws things in there. Like, he doesn't really think them through. It's like all of a sudden, well, I mean, it goes back to when Luke and Leia kiss, and then in the next movie, he's like, oh, by the way, they're brother and sister. They're not really.
Ick.
Then why did you let them kiss in the second movie? Because you clearly wanted some sort of, I don't know.
Love triangle.
Yeah. Let's create some drama. You're not wrong, Andrew, and a lot of people might be listening, going, "Oh, that's not true at all. George Lucas's plan is perfect." Just so you know, most of the lore of Star Wars is not from him. It's from what you would consider the now unofficial, non-canon extended universe. Kyber crystals as the fuel source for lightsabers is never mentioned in any movie or anything ever written or done by George Lucas. An author wrote that, created that right after the first movie came out. So back in 78, I was a fan-made book, and George Lucas said, "Yeah, I like that. That's a cool idea. That the lightsabers, the reason why his is green and his is blue and his is red is because there's this crystal called a Kyber crystal stone that powers the lightsaber, and the type of crystal determines the color." I mean, So yeah, you're not wrong, Andrew, in that, and as evidenced by Jar Jar Binks, not all of George Lucas's ideas are good ideas.
That's a bad character.
Yeah, so
I's a racist.
Even though I had those problems with the timeline, well, those aren't really. I guess they're not really timeline, not all of them, but
yeah.
I still liked the movie. There was just those little things that kind of bothered me a little
nitpicky stuff, and I understand that.
And
that's fine.
The CGI of Princess Leia was probably on the top of that list, but
sure.
It's like they had super soft focus on her, or what do you call that?
Yeah, it's soft. I know what you mean. I mean, yeah, she looks a little soft. She looks a little. She looks like she's physically emanating light.
Yeah.
It's just strange. Like, there's almost my TV, and maybe because it's my TV, but it's almost as if my TV thinks that there's. It's like looking at the moon, There's this aura around it, that she. It's like maybe she's so white that my TV doesn't know what to do with it. Is all. I mean, I don't know. She's whiter than sour cream. I don't know. Well, that's me. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I really want to say before I get into clips is like I really love how they killed that Star Destroyer with the Hammerhead.
The Hammerhead
Corvette.
yes.
That scene was so cool. And
That's when you go, wait a minute. They should have had a lot more of those ships. That seemed to be really damn effective.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's load up about 20 of these ion torpedo ships.
Right.
And send those out. Drop that on the Death Star. And go from there.
Well, they kind of do it sort of in Return of the Jedi when that poor A-Wing fighter goes through the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer and then crashes into the Death Star. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, true.
But not the same thing, but kind of. So anyway, that's kind of all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it. All right, so we ready for some clippy clips?
I think so.
I only wrote a couple of tropes, like the operative has a secret mission trope. Like he has a mission, but then he has a secret part to it. Like the mission is we're going to go find this guy. The secret part is I got to kill him. Like that's a trope. Inspirational speech trope. I'm actually surprised this movie didn't have a montage, frankly. Here we go. Clip number 1.
Congratulations. You are being rescued. Please do not resist.
There you go. He's great. Alan Tudyk.
As she's
for the
struggling to get her breath.
Yeah. Oh, so I mentioned before the show, I asked you, any of you guys, if you had watched the Maze Runner movies. Alan Tudyk is in Maze Runner 2 as this kind of weird, sleazy, creepy bar owner guy. It's a very weird role for him. And
it's a bad role. I didn't like that.
It's very strange because Sarah and I both look at each other and go, really? That guy? Okay, fine. Whatever. I just titled this
I'm a creep on the wind.
Right.
He's got
Oh, that's the name of the episode. Oh, fantastic.
You're welcome. Suck it, Andrew.
What?
I love it.
Is it bad that I assumed that you were talking about the other Andrew that we know?
Oh,
when you said that?
He doesn't listen to this show.
I could have meant that one too.
Yeah, you could have, but he doesn't listen to this show. I know he doesn't. All right.
Suck it, Lejeune.
I just wrote this as K2SO. I can't remember why.
I'm K2SO.
Oh, that's why.
I'm a reprogrammed Imperial droid.
I remember you.
I see the Council is sending you with us to Jeddah.
Apparently so.
That is a bad idea. I think so, and so does Cassin. What do I know? My specialty is just strategic analysis.
He's so snarky. I love it. He's so great. And I love just the way he talks, just his affectation is great. Also, if you're looking for another good Alan Tudyk role as a robot, go watch iRobot. He's Sonny.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's Sonny the robot in iRobot. So he has a good history of doing voiceover.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Doing voiceover. He's the darn chicken in Moana.
He's in every. So he's the new Ratzenberger, right? So John Ratzenberger is in all the Pixar movies. Alan Tudyk is in every Disney animated studios movie. So he's the chicken in Moana. He is the weasel, Duke Weaselton, in Zootopia. He is the Duke of Wesselton in Frozen.
Is he really? I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it's him. He is Turbo in Wreck-It Ralph. So I think that's all. I can't remember if there are any other ones. But yeah, that's him. So anyway,
cool.
More K2SO.
Did you know that wasn't me?
Of course.
I thought I told you to stay on the ship.
You did, but I thought it was boring and you were in trouble. There are a lot of explosions for two people blending in.
Freeze, right.
You're right. I should just wait on the ship.
He's so great. So great. All right, here we go. Donnie Yen and his buddy.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna follow Jin. Her path is clear.
Alone? Good luck!
I don't need luck. I have you.
So good. That's the buddy. That's the buddy cop film I want to watch.
Yes,
that is my child.
You know, the reluctant guy following. You know, I want to see that.
Oh yeah,
Parker, that's really dangerous. That's okay. You're gonna stop it from hurting me.
Right.
All right. Cool.
All right. You ready for the worst dad joke in the history of Star Wars?
Bring it.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
I mean, he did just become a dad, like, what, a couple of years ago?
Yeah. Have you seen How It Should Have Ended?
No.
How it should have ended for this? He says that, and then Krennic says, gosh, what a dad joke. And he goes, wait, are you saying I'm a father? I'm a father? And he says, no, I'm just saying that's a dad joke. Oh, because if you were saying I was a father, that would have been great. Anyway, what? Oh, I'll be there. Again, more K2SO.
I'll be there for you. Cassian said I had to.
So anyway,
I kind of wonder if that was a Alan Tudyk thing himself. Like,
did he come up with that? Yeah,
he says the line and then
he
Cassian says it.
Well, yeah, he ad-libbed a lot. I mean, he's on set. He's wearing a mocap suit with like an apparatus that extends his head up above him, like they did for Age of Ultron when they had David Spader on, and he had this literally it's a helmet with two tennis balls. James Spader, thank you, not David Spader. David Spade.
Hello, I am Darth Spader, David Spader.
He had to have a very fat sidekick.
Right,
that, did a lot of physical comedy. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt so much here or here, but right here in the middle.
Stormtrooper in a little coat.
But like the scene when he smacks Cassian for mouthing off, and he says there's a fresh one for that. That whole scene was ad-libbed. So like there was moments of ad lib with Tudyk, because if you're gonna get washed, you might as well have him do it. Last clip, because if you're gonna say the name of your movie, I'm gonna capture it.
Rogue One.
Rogue One? There is no Rogue One.
Well, there is now.
Okay, so basically every clip I captured except Darth Vader was K2SO. Which is fine. I'm okay with that.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Here we go. Oh, shite. I just closed my script.
Uh-oh.
All of the trivia.
We are now...
Man. Hey, quick, somebody drop an F-bomb. Somebody drop an F-bomb.
We are in...
no man's land.
What are we going to do?
What's the Troubled Waters
watch
song?
out for the Tusken Raiders.
Something in
Don't mess you up.
Troubled Waters. I can't remember. They hide their numbers or something. No, that's not true. They will be back and in greater numbers. The Rebel base at Yavin 4 features several full-size cardboard cutouts of X-Wings and Y-Wing fighters using the same technique for filming out of the hangar as in the original Star Wars.
Oh, cool.
I actually really like this trivia here. The studio had only two choices to play Chirrut, Donnie Yen and Jet Li. Yen was approached first because of his salary of $4 million against Li's $10 million.
Whoa.
To gauge his interest as... Oops, sorry. Crap. Sorry. I'm not in my normal setup. To gauge his interest and as a secondary plan, director Gareth Edwards also offered him the other role of Baze. Yen expressed interest in playing Chirrut but was hesitant in accepting it because it required him to be in London for 5 months. Andrew? You okay?
Yeah, I almost dropped the mic.
Okay.
Sorry, at the angle you are, I'm very impressed.
However, it was his young son's love of the Star Wars films and comics that wore down his reluctance, and it was his idea to make the character blind.
So shiny. Perfect.
Right.
Which is perfect.
Anthony Daniels, who of course was C-3PO, reportedly disgruntled that Alan Tudyk was allowed to play K-2SO in mocap, whereas Daniels had to endure years of discomfort and injuries in the C-3PO costume. Tensions came to
that's a big old pile of shut up.
Yeah. Tension came to a head when Daniels cursed Tudyk after Rogue One's premiere. Tudyk later joked that the, quote, F you from Daniels was one of the highest compliments he'd ever received. I might have mentioned this before, but composer Alexander Desplat's original score was rejected because of the extensive reshoots to address the tone and story issues. This extended the post-production schedule, for which he was unavailable due to his commitments on Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Michael,
how'd that do?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Not good.
Well, it's not doing good on the... It's getting like a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, but maybe the score is good. Who knows? Michael
Giacchino.
I heard it pronounced
Knight.
Michael Giacchino. I keep saying it wrong.
Jordan.
His replacement only had 1 month to write the score for this film.
Yeah, just about that really quickly. I know he only had 1 month or a very short time, and we discussed this last week a little bit. But and since we discussed it, when I watched it again yesterday, I paid a little bit more attention to the score, and to only have 1 month, it wasn't bad.
Mm-mm.
You know, it wasn't great. It wasn't stellar. It didn't, you're not going to write home about it, but
yeah, it certainly wasn't his best work.
No, it wasn't, but it didn't take me away from the film.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and
right?
the
you okay, Sam?
Slight subtle hints to the original score stuff.
Yeah, which is good.
I thought was very well done.
Yeah,
in that idea.
Little Darth Vader there, little New Hope there, stuff like that. I like that. The theme for Rogue One was fine. You know, I thought, and this is not my normal bias. I mean, his Star Trek stuff was better, but he probably had more time to flesh it out, and he's frankly probably not used to not working with JJ. You know, like he won an Oscar for Up. Up is wonderful. So the guy is fantastic. And I think he did fine. Again, for a month, he did fine.
No excuses, just results.
Gareth Edwards came up with the name for the planet Scarif after ordering coffee in a Starbucks, and they misspelled his name on the cup. The barista simply misspelled Gareth's name as Scarith. So, the name of Rogue Squadron, the group of pilots led by Luke Skywalker at the Battle of Hoth, is retroactively revealed to be inspired by Jin's team, which was the name Rogue One. Well, that's actually kind of cool. Little retcon. And that's it. Cool. We just talked about the soundtrack, so not going to do that bit. Time for top 3. That's not it. This is what. Which I just realized is not accurate anymore. That's not the new top 3.
Is it not?
No. I changed it, but I'm on the wrong computer. I'm on location this week as we record. So
it played, and I was like, I'm gonna let him do it.
I don't have it. Yeah, I don't.
That's okay. We can go retro for today.
Well, just
hell, we should have pulled out West Coast time as the intro.
I don't think I even have that on this computer either. So, what it should have been is, "Excuse me while I whip this out." Is what it's supposed to
I got
happen.
you. Excuse me while I whip this out.
There we go. Thanks. We decided to do, since everyone. It's really weird, Andrew, seeing you with zero light behind you, and all of a sudden your microphone is like floating in space. It's like 2001 Space Odyssey right now. It's the monolith. We decided to do sacrifice movies. Movies where either the main character or a character in the movie does the sacrifice play. So, Andrew, you take it away, sir.
Okay. Going to start with number 3, Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's a good one.
Damn you.
I know. It was touching.
Yep.
That was as Sean has said, got a little teary-eyed in that moment, as did I. Number 2, Rorschach in The Watchmen.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Manhattan has to make the
punch him in the face,
pull the trigger, basically. And then the one most emotional for me, anyway, sacrifice, and I really, as a father, watching stuff with my kids, I look at it through different eyes as I may have looked at it when I was a child. And in the movie Big Hero 6, when Baymax basically pushes Hero back with his fists put back through the portal, and he's there by himself, I was like almost bawling in the theater when we saw that.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
All right. Right on. Corny.
All right. I'm going to go with my number 3 with Constantine.
Oh, cool.
Because, going to hell is pretty damn scary. Or going to Detroit. Zing! My number 2 is... okay, so... Okay, they don't really die, but they put themselves in the sacrifice. Okay. Sean, you're going to like this. Is Summer Glau when she does...
Oh.
Although,
do we have to say because there has to be consequences?
Well,
here's the thing. I think if you think they're going to die,
if the plan is I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to die so that you can live, but they don't, I still think that the intent of the sacrifice is there.
Okay.
Because I'm going to make that argument for 2 of my other ones.
Okay, fair enough.
So
right.
I'm with you. And it's funny, I thought of that one, Corny, and I was going to put that in my honorable mentions.
I thought that would be your number 1. I'll be honest with you.
No, it's not, but I thought of it. And
well, I'll be damned.
One of the greatest moments in film history. Okay, maybe not,
right.
but I think it is.
And my number 1 is Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks.
Saving Ryan's Privates?
Yeah.
Saving Ryan's Privates.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
Damn you, Matt Damon. Just stay in a bubble wrapped room.
The
We'll
whole
save so much money.
Really, the whole team, except for that one douchebag with the big gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first time I watched that, and he's slumped over and he just shooting. And she pulled out the pistol. I was
shooting
like,
his 9mm at the tank.
I was just like, no.
And then
why?
the tank blows up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and a quick honorable mention: young Peter Parker and Iron Man when all the Iron Man drones are, I guess, in Iron Man 2, and he.
Oh, that doesn't count.
All right.
Doesn't count. All right, Sam.
All right. Let me get my list up here. My number 3 is a character called Russell Case in Independence Day.
Yeah,
I'm Pilot. I'm Fly.
That's so. 2 of you have mentioned my honorable mentions and Independence Day and Constantine.
My number 2 is Father Damien Caddis in The Exorcist.
Nice.
Okay.
Throws himself out the window.
The power of Christ compels you.
Spirit in him. And my number 1 has to be Vader in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Jumps away to yield lightning.
Well, and he picks up the Emperor and chucks him down the thing.
Chucks him, yep.
And where that guy at the bottom is sweeping and this body comes down, he's like, not again.
There's a hand down there.
There's a hand. Yeah, there's a hand.
Boss, are you all right?
Me? Oh, no, yeah. The Emperor's dead on the ground.
Jeff Vader. He runs the Death Star. He's head of catering.
I'm your boss. Are you head of catering?
Are you Mr. Stevens?
Are you Mr. Stevens? No, who's Mr. Stevens? He's head of catering. No, I'm Darth Vader. Anyway. Kill you all in a single thought. All right. Later. Okay, cool. I'm excited that none of you mentioned my top 3.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is cool that we're actually pretty different on our choices are eclectic. So my 2 honorable mentions were Constantine and Independence Day. Mm-hmm. My number 3 is Iron Man from Avengers.
I was going to do that, but I assumed someone else would.
There had to be consequences for me.
Well, again, he went through it knowing he was going to die. Yeah. And then he just happened to not. You know, I mean, Darth Vader didn't know he was going to die when he picked up the Emperor and chucked him down the thing. He just happened to.
Sure, he knew something bad was going to happen.
My number 2, I just wrote Star Trek because it seems like every other movie there's a sacrifice. So you've got Spock in Wrath of Khan. And
I knew
then,
you were going to put that one in there somewhere.
Yeah, Spock in Wrath of Khan, and then Kirk, old Kirk in Generations, and then young Kirk in
the new one.
Into Darkness, and then young Kirk's dad in the 09 one, and Data in Nemesis. So that's a running theme in Star Trek, which is cool. And then my number 1, Iron Giant.
Yeah.
That, in fact,
that was near my list.
In fact, we watched that again not like a week ago, and I was again in tears. So there you go.
You know that Vin Diesel,
he's so good at conveying so much.
The best actor with less than 5 words.
Right? He's just so good. All right.
Right.
Anyway, that's it. That's our show. We're gonna do out of 10 now, right? This is where you guys. Well, I have a clip. I have a clippy clip.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
I have that one, which is weird.
Is that the one?
Yep. Yep. Out of 10. This is where you guys give me your score from 1 to 10 of what you think, how you felt this movie is. So, Andrew, your score.
I'm going to give this a I don't know, a good. It's a movie that I've watched probably 7 times since it was released on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, and I saw it twice in the theater, so I must like it a little bit.
Yeah.
Aside from the 4 little things that I mentioned and the horrible CGI Princess Leia.
And the flatulence.
I mean, I'm going to have to. I can't give it a perfect score because of those things, but overall, a good story, and I think that it sets up the original 3 movies very well. So I'm going to give this an 8. Yeah, let's just go 8.
Okay.
8 out of 10.
Corey, don't go in there and start changing your scores now.
Oh, it's just them.
Corey's dinking around in the Google Doc here, or the sheet.
About that.
Oh, I don't think that math is going to work out.
Long
Corey.
math.
Oh.
Dick joke.
It's,
all right.
It's because he wrote penis in the list, so there you go.
You can't prove it.
I guess I could screenshot it. But anyway.
So this is what happens when I have power. It tells a great story. It does connect a lot of things. It does pander to Star Wars fans a little bit when it didn't have to. So I'm kind of with Andrew, and actually I originally put down 7.62 to see if I can get Sean to say something. But no, I think I will have to give it a 8.3.
All right. Okay, I'm good with that. 8.3. Samwise.
Yeah, this movie would probably get a very solid 7 from me until you see Darth Vader being a badass at the end and adds probably another 1.5. So I'm going to do 8.5 out of 10.
All right. 8.5 out of 10. I'm trying to. Okay. Wait, Sean. Okay. Sorry. I actually, Corey, you're killing me here. I'm not writing that. Oh, Andrew's in here now. Oh, get out of my thing. 8.5. Cool. Gosh. So I actually went back and looked and see what I gave The Force Awakens. And
Yeah.
I've gone on record with several times, maybe not on this podcast, I don't know, but I liked The Force Awakens better than this movie. I just did. I thought it was a better Star Wars movie, personally. I like the new characters because I just think Finn and Rey are going to be great. I'm really looking forward to what to do. I like what happened to Han. I thought it was very powerful when it happened, and when Chewie screams, when Chewie screams, it friggin' ripped my soul out. So I think that movie was better, and I gave that movie an 8.75. So I'm going to give this movie an 8.25. I really liked it. I think it's really good, but not quite there. And yeah, so that puts this movie at a solid 8.26, which is just fine.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Fine. Yeah.
So it is below our average for
Force Awakens. Yeah, I like these about the same.
I can see that. Yeah,
Force Awakens is more child friendly.
In fairness, I didn't do the math to make sure that was a thing. I didn't. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to do it for me.
For your reference, Sean.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, the Force was
4.375, and this one's 8.26. So they're on par with each other.
Oh yeah, so this movie is just under Force Awakens.
And I can see that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can't think. Yeah. So anyway, that makes sense to me. It does. Cool. That's our show. Thank you so much.
Now get out.
That's gonna do it. GTFO. Corny is out next week, so I don't know what we're going to do next week. We thought we were doing Narnia this week. We keep pushing Sweeney Todd because we want Chad, God rest his soul, to come back and help us out. And I want Corny to be a part of that particular episode. So I don't know what we're going to do next week, and we'll let you know via Twitter. So hang in there. Sorry. It's either going to be 7 Psychopaths or something else. We got to make sure some movies are still streaming. So... anyway, I will. That's it. That's all for the podcast. And I'm gonna come over here and click this button while these guys are giggling. You guys are so childish. It's so funny. These are 35-year-old men that are giggling that they wrote penis 100 times in my Excel spreadsheet. Oh my gosh.
I just noticed it went all the way down the chain.
Yeah. Check us out at cheapseatreviews.com. Go to our Anchor app. I'll be posting my review of The Maze Runner tonight. So there's that.
Do we have email?
Of course not.
I almost said F no.
Leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, any of those places. If you're going to leave us a review on iTunes, be a real person. I keep getting spam on that. It's kind of annoying.
On iTunes?
Yeah, no, YouTube. YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at CheapSeatCast, and you, of course, can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/CheapSeatReviews, and you may and should send your emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com, and of course, there's still our GoFundMe.com/CheapSeatReviews. That's still up. Again, I haven't checked in a while. Maybe I should go check that out. Make sure that's still a thing. That's going to do it. So on behalf of Andrew, Corny, Sam, and the 10,000 penises that you guys wrote in my
big old box of dicks.
Big old box of dicks. What? The demon penis of shaving? Nice. That's gross. So on behalf of all of that, I say thank you guys so much for listening, and good night.
My blue milk brings other boys to the yard, and they're like, "No, don't shoot."